host, Mataji? Okay, I think host is simple participant sharing. I cannot share my screen.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, I'm late. Miss again today's Zoom gave me the problem. So thank you so much everyone for joining. Today we are going to hear from Rati Vilasa Mataji. She is going to cover chapter number 84 from the Krishna book, the sacrificial ceremony performed by Vasudeva. So a little bit introduction about the Rati Vilasa Mataji. She is she was introduced into ISKCON by her friend, the Prabhu's friend, the Kamala Mataji and the Srinivasan Prabhu. And first time Mataji went to Ramchandra Prabhu's house on like the Shira Day. And since then, they didn't stop going, they continue going. And still she is going. And now Mataji is initiated. And she got initiated from Romapada Maharaj, Swami Maharaj, and that is in the August 2023. Mataji is very dedicated and sincere devotee, serving in various capacity, like she is hosting the home program and Bhakti Vriksha. She is cooking for the Sunday Feast program. She is part of the decoration team, participating in various festival program. And professionally, Mataji is working with Accenture as a project manager. And she have completed her double computer science degree, and also Mataji is gold medalist. Very bold. And now she is spiritually she is pursuing for the Bhakti Shastri, and also she has enrolled for the Bhakti Vaibhav. So that's really nice, good achievement. I would like to request all of you to please unmute yourself and give a big Haribol to Mataji. Haribol.
Haribol.
Haribol, Haribol, Haribol.
Thank you. So, Mataji, over to you. I see that you are sharing your presentation, so please continue. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much, Mataji. And thanks to the ISKCON of Bergen County Management for giving me this opportunity to purify myself. We will be discussing chapter 84 of Krishna book entitled Sacrificial Ceremonies Performed by Vasudeva. Here is the agenda. The story, it doesn't have a lot of story actually. It's more of a lessons learned and the teachings by Lord Krishna, sages at Kurukshetra. Then there was a question asked by Vasudeva and how sages addressed. And then finally we'll get to the summary or conclusion, actually my understanding of this chapter. Before we start, I would like to seek blessings and permission from the senior Vaishnavas assembled here. And with that, we will start. Om Jnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurulmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so let's just get to the story, the plot or the storyline of this chapter. So basically this chapter, let's just go a little bit behind, 2 chapters behind. This chapter is 84, and in chapter 82 and 83, it has been described that once upon a time there was a solar eclipse in Dwapar Yuga. So all the people from Bharatvarsh assembled at Kurukshetra to gain some piety. So all the people, all the kings from all over Bharatvarsh, that includes the inhabitants of Vrindavan, Yadavas, and everybody gathered there. And they all were discussing, like chapter 82 talks about all this, that how Lord Krishna and Balram meets the inhabitants of Vrindavan. And then further to that, chapter 84, Draupadi inquires queens of Krishna. So all that scene was going on. And then in this chapter, sages arrived the arena headed by Narada and Vasudeva. And seeing that Lord Krishna, how Lord Krishna performs the worship of sages, how he spoke in glorification of those sages. And then once Krishna finished his glorification of sages, sages in return glorified Krishna and explained everybody present there that what is Lord Krishna's position and what is one's dharma and everything. All those teachings were done by sages. And once all that is done, Vasudeva, when sages were just about to leave, Vasudeva come to sages and ask them that how can one be freed from the bondage of fruitive work. So once Vasudeva asked these questions, then sages replied to Vasudeva with their answers. So that also we will uncover a little bit in detail as much as we can for this short duration of time in further slides, that what sages had replied to Vasudeva. So basically sages said that in nutshell exactly is that you need to worship the Supreme Lord and perform all the Vedic sacrifices, keeping Krishna or Vishnu in center. That way you can be freed from the bondage of fruitive work. Then Vasudeva requested the sages themselves to be their priest so that they can perform the Vedic sacrifices. In the Kurukshetra, all the arrangements have been made and they perform the Vedic sacrifice, the yagya basically. And the sages were the priest who facilitate that yagya. After all the sacrificial ceremonies were done, Then it was described a little bit in depth, in detail in the chapter, how the ceremonies have been done and how they all dressed up with nice dresses, and women's wore silk saris. So all those things was mentioned in that chapter very nicely, very nice to read those things. But we are not describing it here. I'm just telling in a very short that that's how it happens. Once the ceremonies were performed, gifts have been given. The feast has, everybody was fed sumptuously. Even it was mentioned that even the dogs were fed, and all the kings, they left to their home. But Nanda Maharaj stayed there for a few months, and Srila Prabhupada mentioned that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Nanda Maharaj stayed there because he wanted Krishna to go back with him in Vraja. So that was the intention of Nanda Maharaj, to stay there for a few months. So that's about the story. As I said, it's not a lot. Basically, at the Kurukshetra, everybody gathered, and Lord Krishna speaks about sages. Sages talks about the glorification of Krishna. Then the Vedic sacrifice or the sacrificial ceremonies have been performed, and everybody goes back to their home. And that's pretty much about the story. But let's talk in detail, or in as much as detail we can, what Lord Krishna spoke about the sages. So here Lord Krishna says, actually there is this chat and it's bothering me. I feel that I should check what is this. Sorry. Yeah. So Lord Krishna was saying glories of sages. So it says that mere bodies of water are not the real sacred places of pilgrimage, nor are mere images of earth and stone the true worshipable deities. These purify one only after a long time, but saintly sages purify one immediately after being seen. So what Krishna is saying here is the glories of sages, that how beneficial sages are, or how important sages are in our life, that just by the glance of sages one can purify oneself. And just to clarify here, Prabhupada did clarify this in his purports, that here we are not talking about the sacred places of pilgrimage or the worshipable deities of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, because Lord Vishnu or Krishna is absolute, and their deities and places of pilgrimages of absolute value as well. Here we are talking about the deities of demigods. So if one is doing all that out of the ritualistic performances, or out of the ritual, they are taking bath in the sacred places and they are worshipping the deities, then it will take, or it might take a longer time for them to get purified. But if one just sees a saintly person, he gets immediately purified. And we have seen these example in case of Prabhupada. We have met many of his disciples, or heard many of his disciples saying that just by mere glance of Prabhupada, they became the devotees. They became Krishna devotees. Also, here it was quoted by Prabhupada that Yudhishthir Maharaj talks the same thing to Vidura, that people like you, Vidura, are walking tirthas, like the person, you yourself are holy places personified, because you carry Lord in your heart. And that's how you turn all places into pilgrimage. So that's what the importance of saintly people or the pure devotees. Krishna himself is saying. Now, next he says that neither the devotees controlling fire, the sun, the moon, and the stars, nor those in charge of earth, water, ether, air, speech, and mind remove the sins of their worshippers, who continue to see in terms of dualities. But wise sages destroy one's sins when respectfully served for even a few moments. So again, Krishna here is saying that if you worship the demigods who are controlling the sun, the moon, the stars, and who are in charge of the earth, air, everything, cannot remove your sins altogether or completely. And plus, if you don't have the faith, or if you still into that material contamination, and if you still in that world of duality, it cannot be eradicated. But on the contrary, if you worship the sages, or if you render service onto the saintly persons, then within few moments your sins can be eradicated. And we all know that classic example of Narad Muni, that Narad Muni in his previous birth was a son of a maid servant, and he just got the association of pure devotees for few days. He took the remnants of their prasadam and he became a devotee, and he saw Lord Vishnu himself. So that is the importance of saintly people Krishna is telling in this verse. So I thought of saying something here. Also, I think this is the last slide about what Krishna is talking in glorification of sages. So Krishna says, one who identifies his self with inert body composed of mucus, bile, and air, who assumes his wife and family are permanently his own, who thinks the land of his birth is worshipable, who sees a place of pilgrimage as merely the water there, but who never identifies himself with, feels kinship with, worships, or even visits those who are wise in spiritual truth, such a person is no better than a cow or an ass. So Krishna is saying here, in short, he's talking about the false identification. The one who identifies himself as a body, and with body comes the false relatives, or I would say false identification with the body. This body is mine, all the relatives of this body are permanently mine, and they will be there with me forever, and the place where I'm born is worshipable. So basically these all are identification, and these identifications are false. So Krishna here is saying that one who identifies himself falsely and who does not worship or even visit to those places, or basically who does not abide by the saintly person, who does not think higher of the saintly person, is no less than a cow or an ass. Again, Prabhupada clarifies here that the devotees who are practicing devotees, and who are still affected by the material contamination or material attachments, are not considered as cow or asses, but they are on the path, because they identifies the saintly person. They get the association. They understand that that there are people who understand the truth and all those things. So he's saying, he's talking all these things about pure materialistic persons who are like YOLO and FOMO type of people. So this was all said about those type of people, not the practicing devotees. Also here, verse has been quoted from Brahma Samhita, that same thing, basically, a man who does not know devotional service, and who does not identify with, maybe he is well versed in Vedas, and he is adored by worldly leaders, but he is an ass or a cow. So now, having said that, Krishna did mention that what to do then if you falsely identify yourself. So Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita 4.34 that you approach a spiritual master, tat vidhi pranipatena prashnena sevaya updeshayanti te jnanam jnaninas darshina. Like you approach a saintly person, a spiritual master, inquire with him submissively, render service to him, and those pure souls will impart knowledge onto you. So this is all about Lord Krishna's teaching, and I will speed up a little bit because I think we have 15 minutes left. So the teachings of sages at Kurukshetra. Now, Lord Krishna glorified sages. Now it is sages' turn. When sages heard what Lord Krishna said, they all were like stunned and they were hearing with rapt attention and they were bewildered for some time and thinking that this, because they are aware that this is Krishna talking and who Krishna is, but they were amazed by how Krishna is pretending to be a common man and he is pretending to be a subject to superior control. So that's what it took some time for sages to get to the reality, and thus they spoke that he is cause of all causes of creation, maintenance, and destruction. This is also mentioned in our Srimad Bhagavatam 1.1.1 Janmedi Asayata. Also, then they said that Krishna assumed the pure mode of goodness to protect devotees and punish the wicked. So, meaning Krishna is beyond the mode of material, beyond modes of material nature, right? He is in Shuddha Sattva, and he comes here to protect the devotees, paritranaya sadhunaya vinashaya cha dushkritam. So that's how Krishna takes birth. All these things these sages are telling to the public there in glorification of Krishna. Sages also said that Vedas are his spotless heart, and through them, through Vedas, one can perceive by means of austerity, study, and self-control the manifest and unmanifest. So basically, so we know this in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, right? Krishna says that I am the Vedas, I wrote the Vedas, and the ultimate aim of Veda is to know me. So same thing here, sages are saying that if you perform austerities and study the Veda, you can know Krishna and you can know the manifest, the unmanifest, and the pure existence, which is transcendental to both manifest and unmanifest. Then further to it, they are saying Krishna is the foremost worshipper of the Brahmas. We say this prayer, right? Go Brahmana Hitaicha. This is mentioned in Vishnu Puran. Then apart from any future profit to be obtained for this is my favorite. So apart from any future profit to be obtained from worshipping the Supreme Lord, it is every person's most essential obligation to bow down to him as an acknowledgement of one's dependence and servitude. So here, sages are saying that we should not worship Supreme Lord just to gain something, just to get some profit, but we should bow down to him. We should accept him as a supreme controller out of dependence and servitude, and that's what is all our movement about, the mode of servitude. We are the servant of servants, right? So that's what the sages are also saying. And Krishna himself said that Manmana bhav mad bhakto, that become my devotee, bow down to me. So and also in Bhagavad Gita, they say that the dharma of everyone is to do the uninterrupted, unmotivated devotional service. Savai pumsa baro dharma yato bhakti adakshaja. So that is what sages are also saying. Then further to it, they are saying those who render wholehearted devotional service and in this way vanquish the soul's covering, the material mind, and know who Krishna is, attain Krishna's abode. So again, they are saying that by devotional service only you can know Krishna. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. And once you know Krishna, once you know his transcendental birth and death, then you can attain Krishna's abode. Manmana bhav mad bhakto. Yeah, sorry. Janma karma charma divyam, meaning once you know the transcendental birth and death of Krishna, you can attain Krishna's abode. Now, these are, in short, I mean, just the summary of what sages were talking in glorification of Krishna. I tried to put them in a slide, which was very tough, actually, because they spoke a lot. And I don't think so I would have done justice by putting just in one slide, but just to keep the time in mind, I tried to consolidate in one slide. Now, what happens is once the sages glorified Krishna and they were just about to leave, Vasudeva come to sages and he asked a question that how can we counteract the reactions of work from further work, meaning how can I get rid of the bondage of fruitive work. So sages now again started speaking by explaining Vasudeva. Now in this chapter, there was little more things were explained in depth, like what is the mode of Shri Krishna talking, what is the mode of Vasudeva asking these questions, because Vasudeva is at a very exalted position because Shri Krishna took birth in his family, right? He was father of Lord, so he is no less than any sage or anybody, right? So he doesn't need to ask these questions. So all these things are nicely described in that chapter, that what is the mood of Vasudeva in asking those questions. But so what sages are saying that how you can counteract that is by worshipping. If we can just say this in one liner, then it is like worship Lord Vishnu, please Lord Vishnu, or keep Krishna in center by doing whatever you are doing, whatever sacrifices, Vedic sacrifices you are performing, keep Vishnu in center and please Vishnu. That's how you can counteract the reactions. And because we know that Krishna is the beneficiary of all the sacrifices, right? We know by Bhagavad Gita 5.29. Then one should please Lord Vishnu in order to purify the dust of material contamination accumulated in the heart and to clear the path of liberation and thereby achieve transcendental bliss. The only process to counteract all sorts of material desire is to engage oneself in the devotional service of Lord Vishnu. Now, if we recall from Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, Arjuna asked Krishna that I still do what I am not supposed to do. I know that this is not right, but I still do it. Why? So he asked Krishna this question, and what Krishna says that the root cause of all this is desire and lust. Now here sages are saying that how can we counteract all sorts of material desire? It's just to engage in devotional service, because Prabhupada said this multiple times that we cannot be without desires. We have to have desire to live. So we can dovetail our desires. And how we can dovetail our desire is doing devotional service and keeping Krishna in center and doing, and whatever we are doing, just offering that as an oblation to Krishna, that Krishna, you have entrusted me this family or whatever, I'm just doing it for your pleasure. So if we keep Krishna in center and if we dovetail all our desire towards Krishna, then it will purify our existence. Then next is a self-controlled person, even while remaining in householder life, should give up the three kinds of material desires. So sages are saying that so basically these are the major three desires which comprises everything. So what are they? The desire for the acquisition of material opulence, for the enjoyment of wife and children, and for elevation to higher planets. Now, how can we counteract the desire for acquisition of material opulence? Is to do charity, is to do sacrifice. How can we counteract the enjoyment of wife and children? Is to get into the grihastha ashram and get the family life. How can we counteract the or liquidate the elevation to higher planets? Is to understand the time factor, that once my piety is done, I will come back again. I will not be going to stay there forever, right? Because all those are temporary places. So these are the desires which one can counteract. Then further sages are saying, again, these are also in a very short, I have tried to explain. There's a lot more. It was a big chapter. So it was difficult to put everything on one slide. So I just tried my best to consolidate in as short as I can. So sages says that everyone, even if born in a higher status as a Brahmana, Kshatriya or Vaishya, is certainly indebted to the demigods, to the sages, to the forefathers, and to other living entities. So these are the three kinds of debts everybody who is born in a higher status family have. And how can we liquidate those debts is to perform sacrifices, to study the Vedic literature, and to generate children in religious householders' life. Now, these are the ways they are saying to liquidate the debt. But the one-stop solution for everything is to surrender unto Krishna, perform devotional service, and you can counteract all the sinful reactions. Everything will be taken care, because everything is part and parcel of Krishna. And once you satisfy, once you surrender unto Krishna, all the debts will be taken care. Okay, so this is the last slide. So this is my understanding of the chapter. This chapter describes the arrival of great sages at Kurukshetra to observe the auspicious occasion of a solar eclipse, the sages' glorification of Lord Krishna and Vasudeva's enthusiastic performance of sacrifice. We can conclude that one must take shelter of saintly persons, and that will eradicate their sins and removes the dust of material contamination from their heart. Once that is done, it is very easy for one to engage in devotional service. And that's what sages concluded, that one's aim and goal of life is to please Krishna. And sages also were telling about the importance of hearing and serving saintly Vaishnavas. And Sankirtan Yagya is the yoga dharma of this age, and by doing this, one can easily satisfy Lord Vishnu, and whatever debts we spoke about in previous slides can be liquidated just by following this yoga dharma, because we cannot perform any other yagyas or anything due to this age and due to many limitations we have. So for this age, only yagya prescribed is Sankirtan Mahayagya. So that's what I had for today. Thank you all so much for your attention. I could not see anybody though, but I hope I did justice to it. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I know I was thinking this chapter is very vast and how you are going to consolidate that. But I must say you did good job, consolidated so well. You quoted so many verses, like, you cover Bhagavad Gita 4.8, 15.18, 18.55, 5.29, and so on. And yes, you covered so well that, ultimate goal is to serve the Vaishnavas. You covered it so well, and Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. As you said, if we are going to serve the pray to the demigods, we have to pray to the hundreds of demigods, because they are the one who's controlling each and every part of our body. So instead of doing that, Krishna has given us very sweet way that just worship me, I'll take care of everything. So as Prabhupada says, the Krishna Bhakti is very easy. It's so easy that it's so easy to miss it. But you covered it so well, and thank you so much for reminding so nicely. Hare Krishna. So now, if anyone have any question, comment for Mataji, I would like to request you to unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, you can put it in the chat box. I can take it forward. Hare Krishna. Okay, looks like there is no question. You explained so well. So there is no question for you today. I would like to, I just added what I thought. So I added, but I don't have any question for you, but really the praise and big haribol for your presentation. Thank you. So if anybody have nothing to share, I would, like to end this call. And tomorrow we are going to continue reading the at the same time, because tomorrow is Friday. No, tomorrow is the morning time. Friday we are going to meet tomorrow 8 o'clock, 8 to 8:30. And tomorrow's chapter is, give me 1 second. Tomorrow's, oh my God, tomorrow is very, very special class. Please don't miss it. Tomorrow's class is going to be given by Ramchandra Prabhuji, and he is going to talk about the summary description of Lord Krishna's pastime. I'm sure we all is going to have the blast, because Prabhuji, when he narrated the story, he just take us to that pastime. So I request all of you, please, 8 o'clock. Actually, you know what? Join the Japa call. Japa call usually start at 6 o'clock, but if anybody wants to join early and chant along, please, you feel free to join at 5 o'clock, 5:30. So many Matajis are chanting, so you can join, and then stay back 8 o'clock, attend the Prabhuji's class, and then you can go for your work. So you will be fully charged, and then you can go to the job or wherever you want. So thank you so much. If nothing else, we can end this call here. We can end by
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Please
Krishna.
accept my humble obeisances. Excellent job, Rati Vilas. I knew we discussed this, you were a little concerned about, how would you present this, but I guess the whole point of bringing, how the great sages and the realized souls are appreciated, that was amazing. And thank you for taking us to the story of Vidura, that, they are walking pilgrimages, and it just reinforces the importance of having that association in our lives, devotees, non-devotees, equally for both of them. So thank you for bringing in that point. Thank you, Vilas. It was excellent. Thank you.
All glories to your association, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Rati Vilas, very, very nice class. Very, very depth actually. The topic is, you explain this in very much depth. And I feel that, what we heard today, this information is actually, it is very, for a layman, for a common man, it's very difficult to understand, to, grasp. But Prabhupada has made it so easy for us that we hear it, and because we hear it over and over again and again, it just goes into, right into our heart and mind. So, but very well explained. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for your kind words. You are so kind. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajis, for encouragement and kind words. So we can end this call by chanting the Vanchakalpataru. And again, I would like to thank Ramchandra Prabhu and everyone for giving me this chance. So thank you. And we can end by praying the Vanchakalpataru. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Mataji, you have to end the call. Jai Draupadi Mataji, can you please end the call? Let me call her.